Hello and welcome to this week's episode of your Power Packed Podlets. My name is Rachel and I'm your host for these mini magical journeys together. And I have something really exciting for you this week because this week you are going to be able to enjoy two episodes, two mini podcasts, and each podcast is dedicated to a different topic and a different person. And in fact, you might find that you fall into both categories. And so each podcast is going to give you so much value. So the reason I'm doing this is twofold. I hosted a poll in our WhatsApp group. So those of you who are in the WhatsApp group, if you've not voted in that poll yet, make sure to go in and vote. Because if you're in that space, not only do you get these regular audios aside from the podlets, but you also get to have a say in what I'm bringing to the table for free. So the free content that I bring to you in the masterclasses, maybe I go live on Instagram, or maybe it's something low ticket that I'm doing. You get to participate in determining what that is. So I get to find out like what's going on in your life. How can I help you? And then I create from there. So if you're not in that WhatsApp space and you want to be, just drop WhatsApp in the comments below and I'll make sure that you get the link. To let you know as well, this is where I also drop offers. So if you're wanting to know like what's going on in Rachel's world, like how can I come to an in-person with her? Like what are the memberships she has in the school? What's maybe an offer she's got going on now with bonuses? That's the first place you're going to find out. So I'm going to be hosting a masterclass very soon. When I come back from Oaxaca, I will be hosting an incredible masterclass, and it's going to be for two groups of people. And I have a feeling that if you're listening to this, you're definitely one of those groups. So this week's two episodes are for these two groups of people. And what we'll be covering in the masterclass is how both of these groups of people, you get to have what you want. So let's break the first one down. You're going to have a lot of aha moments in these two episodes. So this episode is for those of you who you are currently in a job, somebody else is paying your salary, and for quite some time now you've been wanting to leave a job, stop building somebody else's dream and actually build your own. You're done working to somebody else's rule book. Maybe you've been finding that you dread Mondays, you get the Tuesday blues because there's something missing in your life right now. So you're probably really good at what you do, right? You've been working in your job for quite some time. You've been climbing up the ladder. You've been honing your expertise. You are the type of person who shows up 100% in what you're doing. You show up with a lot of passion. You do things to an exceptional standard. But something in your job now, you're finding that you're having to force yourself to show up at that standard because it's just not lighting you up anymore. You don't have the time freedom you want. You don't have the financial freedom that you want. You feel exhausted all of the time. And even though you really appreciate that somebody else is paying your salary and they're creating that security for you, you know, that the money comes into your account, it's like clockwork on a certain date every month. And that's incredible. And you're so grateful for it. How it creates that security, you get to pay your bills with it, and you know it's not enough. You know that you could keep doing this for another year, 2 years, 5 years, but the light inside you has already begun to dim. You're noticing that like the years of your life are going by. You've reached a certain age and it's like you want to really be enjoying the time that you have left on this planet and left in this body. And you know that by doing a job that's not really lighting you up, that doesn't fully fulfill you, that doesn't have the meaning for you, that lights you up every single day, that you're waking up looking forward to going to work, you know that that's a much bigger deal than you're allowing yourself to see right now. And it's actually really important that you begin to look at it. Because do you want in a year's time to be looking back and nothing have changed? For you to still be in the same position, doing the same job, earning the same money, working to somebody else's rule book? Do you want that? Do you want your routines and your weeks to look the same, where you have X number of holidays holiday days every year, and you've got to book them in X amount of time in advance? and you can't always get the dates that you want because other people are off at that same time. You don't get the freedom to decide that for yourself. Is that where you want to be in a year's time? Because the masterclass in this week's episode is about this. It's about calling you up to stop waiting, because it's so easy, and I get it. It is so easy to keep putting off, like really going in and creating the change, because it is one thing to be aware of the fact that you want change. It's a whole other ball game to get emotionally involved, because to get emotionally involved in the change, it's going to bring up stuff for you. You're going to start all of these like fears that are underneath the surface of what it means to leave the security of a salaried job, of the routine you've always known, of working with the people you're familiar with, like leaving familiarity and the safety of that certainty. Like when you become emotionally involved in leaving your job, all of that stuff is going to come up for you. And it's underneath the surface right now if you haven't noticed it. And it's only normal. It is completely normal. And it's not just about the logical mind, it's also about your nervous system. And in fact, your nervous system, like it's your biology, it's keeping you safe. And potentially it's suppressing your desires because it's choosing safety over fulfillment and meaning. It's choosing certainty over joy and happiness and freedom. And so it will require courage on your part to choose freedom, novelty, adventure. It's going to require courage of you to choose that over safety and certainty. And it's not just about what is on like above conscious awareness. It's also about what's under subconscious awareness. Because if you know Bruce Lipton, he talks about how 95% of the time we are moving from unconscious programs, not just in the mind, also in your nervous system. And so 95% of your day, something unconscious is driving your action. It's driving where you focus. It's driving what you think about. And so if you are not getting on board with what's going on under unconscious awareness, then it's only normal that you just keep repeating the same and that you feel fearful all of the time. Feeling fear is not a bad thing. It's the fear of the fear itself that's going to keep you where you're at. So let me ask you, are you going to let the fear of fear stop you from living life the way that makes you truly happy? Because let's talk about the end of your life, when you're looking back in retrospect. What are you going to regret if you don't face the things that you're afraid of? What are you going to regret if you don't actually do something now, like now, literally now, if you don't make a decision right now that something's going to change, that you're going to do something radically different? Because if you're just sort of thinking about it and hoping, and maybe I'll do a little bit of research online, maybe I'll start to look into options, if that's all you're doing, that's hope. That's not conviction, that's not a decision, that's hope. And hope will not get you far, because hope is not the frequency upon which you can build income and freedom on your own terms. We think that hope is expansive. It's not, because hope is leaving your power external to you. I hope this works. I hope I find a way. I hope that, no. Because those of us who you see going out and building the things that we want, and right now I'm in the Caribbean and running my 6-figure business from here, I didn't reach this place from hope. I reached this place because I faced all the fears within me of wanting to stay within certainty and safety. I faced those fears. I was the beginner. I made mistakes, and I kept moving forwards. It was a decision. Decidere means to cut all other options, to burn the bridges. You've got to decide within you that you are no longer willing to tolerate where you're at, that you're not going to put up with it anymore. It doesn't mean that tomorrow you're going to leave your job. It does mean that you're going to set yourself up for success. It does mean that you are now going to create a plan. You're going to do something differently so that in 12 months' time, whether you're leaving your job in a month, 6 months, or 12 months, that today you begin doing something differently to set yourself up for a future timeline that is entirely different from today. Because it's not about one massive action, it's about the repetition of small actions that compound over time to an entirely different reality. Let me come to my notes because I wrote some really good ones. So your rational mind right now is probably telling you, oh, the economy is really bad, things are going on politically, I've got lots of bills to come out. What if I leave my job and I feel really lonely because I'm not going to be around people anymore? It's only normal that your rational mind is going to be contemplating these things, because we think that the rational mind is rational. Your rational mind, what it does is it tells you what you know. Let me repeat that. Your rational mind only tells you what you know. And so when it tells you what you know, you can only create more of what you know. You cannot create something you've never had before. Your rational mind can never, ever, ever, ever take you somewhere you've not been. You have to be able to see beyond rational mind, and you have to be able to realize that all of these things you're telling yourself about the economy, about bills, about who's going to create my structure, I don't have a plan, I don't know what this is, those are excuses you're telling yourself to let you off the hook from doing the hard stuff that's required for you to create a different reality. Let that land for a moment. Every single thing that you're telling yourself right now, of the reasons that seem rational to not go for it, they are excuses you're telling yourself so you don't have to put in the effort, because the initial phase is going to require effort from you. Anything new does. But that's the joy of it. Novelty, the effort, the newness, the being the beginner, the learning something new, the growth, that's joyful, that's blissful, that's magic. That is what creates that, like the life within you goes, yes, 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 because the life within you desires that. Your heart desires growth, it desires connection with new human beings, it desires novelty and new conversations. Every single cell of your being is life with a desire of expansion of itself. And if you are not currently expanding, that is partly why you are feeling uncomfortable right now, because you are keeping yourself small and you know it. And so it's normal to be afraid. What the next steps for you are is to actually create a logical plan so your rational mind can go, okay, yes, I'm afraid, but now I've got a plan. Now I'm doing something. I'm not just like throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping something will stick. You're actually planning. But you can't keep doing the same and expect a different result. That's madness. And I know that some of these messages might be like a like being slapped in the face, but I know that that's potentially what you need right now, for you to like connect with the courage, connect with the desire for more magic in your life and go out there. It's worth it. The effort, the not knowing, the uncertainty of the start, the initial phase of creating change, it is all worth it. So that in a year's time, you get to look back and go, fuck, I'm so glad. Thank you, thank you, thank you that I chose to be courageous. And I didn't choose to believe the fear-based thoughts that were keeping me small. So there are a number of things that are going on within you right now that by being able to look at those and understand them rationally, so much is going to make sense. And then you can actually see the fears for what they are, and you can move forwards with confidence and excitement towards your goal. For some of you, it will be leaving your job soon. For some of you, it will be planning, like actually creating a real plan over the next 6 to 12 months. So when you leave your job, you've got that momentum. Yeah, because it's not about starting from cold. Think of a steam train. You're collecting the fuel, you're fueling the fire, and as the fire gets hotter, momentum builds. The next 12 months, think of it as that. fueling the fire for the momentum to build. So if you're leaving your job in 6 months to 12 months, you're not going from cold. So many people do this. They start from cold. Then of course it takes time. Because if you suddenly stop and you don't know, like, what am I building, what are my offers, what are my expertise, how do I market myself, how do I sell, if you don't know any of those things, you've not even contemplated them, you're starting from cold, and it takes time to become known for something. It takes time to gain clarity. It takes contemplation and consideration and coming back to the creative ideas and like playing with your dreams and with your imagination to create something with girth, something with roots. And this is why so many people fail. They expect something that actually means something to be created overnight, and it can't. And then money is a natural byproduct of something that is created that means something, not just to you, but to others. And so this masterclass that we'll be doing is going to be the beginning of this journey for you. It's going to be that awakening within you, the realization of what it takes, of the shifts in you to know that life gets to be very different from how it is right now, for you to actually look at the fears and lose the fear of fear itself, so you can become emotionally involved in your goal and actually take action. So make sure to sign up to this. I'm going to include the link, the sign up link, in the text. If you're listening on YouTube, it will be in the text below the video. If you're listening on Telegram, it's going to be below the audio. Make sure to sign up. This is going to be the beginning. And then you can go off and you can create your plan and you can create momentum. There will be those of you who you come to the masterclass, and then your next logical move for you is, okay, I want the education, the support system, and the community as I navigate the next 12 months. Somebody else who is showing me what the plan is, who already has what I want and is the embodiment of what I desire, who is already where I want to be and knows what it takes to get there, so can walk me through the steps. For a lot of you, that's going to be the case. So you can take the masterclass and then you know what to focus on, so you can go off and do it yourself. Not only that, you're going to feel so alive. You're going to feel ready. And that's so, like, this is the hardest part of starting. You know that. And then there'll be those of you who want to join the school. So I'm implanting the seed for you to begin considering it. I'll pop the link to the brochure along with the rest of the text, so you can start looking at our memberships. Because for a lot of you, this is the logical next move for you to plan leaving your job and to actually know what you're doing when you do. So I can't wait to share this masterclass with you. As you can hear from what I've shared so far, it's going to be very powerful. It's going to be very transformative, and you're going to have a lot of aha moments. So I will see you on the inside once you're signed up. Send me a DM. Let me know what it is that's bringing you to the masterclass. I like to chat with everybody who's joining. I like to get to know you. And then go off and listen to the other episode. You're going to get a lot of from the second episode as well.